Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you guys jumping on this video, learning a little bit more about Florida A&M. We got Coach Nieko Torres with us. He's going to tell us a little bit about the internship experience there. So, Coach, if you could just take a little bit, introduce yourself, where you've been, how you really got to Florida A&M.
Yeah. So like you said, my name's Nieko Torres, Director of Sports Performance for Olympic Sports here at Florida A&M University. Prior to this, I'll kind of start at the beginning. So I started my undergrad at West Virginia University. While I was there, I gained some experience with the various high school, our Olympic weightlifting team. During my time there, we weren't able to help with the collegiate athletic teams, unfortunately. So I gained my experiences through other avenues. After I was done there, I got an unpaid internship at Mississippi State with the football program. So I spent the whole 2017 season with them, finishing in, was it Tax Slayer Bowl victory. After that, I transitioned to the Olympic sports as a graduate assistant. Worked with pretty much every sport during that time except for basketball. And then after my time was finished up there, the timing kind of worked out where I was able to transition to this role here at Florida A&M University.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Pretty cool. You've gotten to be able to work with Olympic sports and football athletes. I know there's a little bit of a difference, but really awesome that you got that background. Looking
sure.
more at your intern coaches, can you give us just a little bit of an example of their daily routine, the things you expect from them on a week to week basis?
Yeah. So the way our program's laid out, we're a little bit flexible as far as hours. I understand with the unpaid internship, some people might have to get a job or whatever the case may be on the side. So we're flexible on the hours, but in an ideal world, my schedule is, early morning to, evening time. So about 5 to about 6 o'clock. So that's what the full day looks like. During that time, we're going to have pretty much every Olympic sport come in. So from track to softball, volleyball, baseball, golf, tennis, probably a couple more that I'm missing off the top of my head too. So as much time you're willing to put in, the more you're going to get out of it at the end of the day, right? So, and if you come in and you prove you're able to hop right in and you could handle the responsibility, I'm going to be able to give you more responsibility at the end of the day. I want to treat my interns as if they are assistants during their time here. So that's the big piece. And on top of that, our curriculum kind of looks like, we will go over, prepare for the CSCCA, the CSCS, if that's something you're studying for, and just really hammer the basics is my big thing. As far as what I do here and what I really want you to learn is the basics, and then everything else builds off of that. And then you start developing your own philosophy and everything, through more experience you get, but it all starts with the basics.
Yeah, I think that's so huge. I know being an undergrad ex-phys major myself, we were told time and time again, you got to know the basics, you got to know the fundamentals before you can really develop your own coaching philosophy. Because if you look out there, coaches do things a million different ways, but everyone kind of agrees on what the baseline fundamentals are for most things. So it's pretty awesome
Right.
on that. So in terms a little bit, I know you spoke a little bit about the curriculum and the fundamentals, but obviously people can read a little bit more about it below. Is there anything else in your curriculum besides CSCCA and really focusing on the fundamentals that you think your interns are going to take out of an experience at Florida A&M?
I think that the biggest thing is, like I said, it's myself and all the Olympic sports here. So I think the best thing you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of interaction with the athletes. I'm going to give you as much responsibility as I think you're able to handle and you're proven to handle. And then outside of that, kind of like we said, the basics, we'll go over some different books that have really helped me during my time to develop my philosophy and kind of made me into the person I guess I am today, and hopefully still developing into. So we'll touch on a couple of those different things. I don't really have the specifics in front of me, but there's a lot of, different avenues we may take, especially depending on, who the individual is that we bring in and kind of where they're at in their career and all that.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you've had a couple interns in the past. You have one this semester. Are there any interns that really stick out in your mind, and what made them so successful during their time with you?
Yeah, I think our biggest one was Drew White, who was last with me last spring for the most part. He was able to come in. He had a good grasp on the basics, so he was able to step right in. He was very personable with the athletes. It wasn't too much of that awkward getting to know you phase. He wasn't too shy, which I think is a huge, huge advantage, especially in this field. Um, and then the things that I kind of value and that I hold our program to the standard of is accountability, communication, and effort, right? So I expect that from the athletes, and I expect that from, my assistants, my interns, whoever else is working with me. So I think he did a very good job of, being on time, being where he was supposed to be. If something popped up, communicating and letting me know, so that way I'm able to adjust plans or whatever the case may be. And then effort. When you're here, right? We're not just sitting in the back, on our phones. We're remaining proactive on, what do we have going on next? Or, someone walked in, what do they need? What can I do for them? So on and so forth.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know those are obviously your big three things you hold true to your culture in the weight room: accountability, communication, and effort. But just looking forward in the future, as Florida A&M continues to grow, what are some things that you're really looking for in your interns? What are some qualities that you think are really going to mesh well with your staff, and just what kind of personalities would you really like to see come down to Florida A&M?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we could teach whoever a lot of the stuff on the science end, right? All that stuff is very learnable. It's pretty straightforward. And you kind of develop your own philosophy off of that, as we mentioned. I think the biggest thing I'm looking for is someone who wants to be here and someone who's hardworking, right? Now, then we'll kind of instill those three big things into them: accountability, communication, and effort. I think no matter what level, in collegiate sports, high school, professional, and even in your personal life, with your family, friends. If you're able to be accountable, show up on time, communicate if things go wrong, or if something's bothering you, whatever the case may be, and then effort, kind of being where your feet are and being in the moment and all that kind of stuff. I think those three things not only help as far as sports and culture wise, but they really help build the human in all aspects of life.
I appreciate you taking some time today, sitting down with us, letting the viewers know a little bit about Florida A&M. Obviously, anyone watching this video, you guys can check out a little bit more about what Florida A&M is all about below. And then if you have any questions or want to submit an application, Coach Torres' email is obviously down at the bottom of the page. But Coach, appreciate you being on here. Super excited to get this rolling with you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to working with you in the future.